dementia dimensions. The next thing that I want to talk about is taking it personal. So when you get a diagnosis of anything, if you were told that, you know, you had this brain that's rotting and you were going to die a heinous death and live a heinous life while you were at it, it's pretty hard not to take that personal. And one thing that I can't do in my life is be a victim. And so at first, of course, you know, you're going to be traumatized and you're going to be devastated, and that's fair and legitimate. And you're going to have that continually throughout the duration of the progression of the disease. But for me, I have to constantly check myself and not allow the victim mentality. So part of how I do that is I really realize that everything has an expiration date on the level of form here, and everything gets recycled here, and that every body is going to have to die. 125 years, maybe 200 for some monks in some mountains, but really everyone's doing it. This is not personal. It's just a little bit sooner, and maybe that's because I'm on the fast track. Who knows? I mean, everything is so upside down, and the ways that we see things is so upside down. But if we start looking at it from another way, like, okay, for me, how I do it is I'm just like, okay, there's nothing I can't bring love to. This is a call for love for myself and for others. And not only that, but this could be the very fast track to my awakening, to peace and joy and love and the divine, abstract, sacredness that I am. And I can feel that. I've seen it in my meditations, and I've seen it in visions, and there's so much more of who I am on the level of eternity. This is one little blip on a screen of foreverness. And so it's not necessarily about how long I live, because living in this body is never really satisfying. There's always fear connected to that. And so really, like, okay, so saying, okay, let me roll up my sleeves. Let's have this whole thing. If this is here, I want to get as much juice out of it as I can to heal my soul and heal my heart and heal my mind and correct my behavior. So if I have to have dementia to bring up all this heinous behavior, then that is a call for love that I can bring to it. And the more I do that, the less I'm having heinous behavior. It's amazing. I had symptoms of apathy for over a year. And the minute that I had a change in my relationship, I started having all these feelings. I started being able to feel my family again and feel when people were talking again. And so things morph and change with dementia and Alzheimer's. Some of the symptoms that I had in the beginning, I was having trouble talking. Clearly, I'm not having trouble talking now. I was having trouble with a lot of other things, and they've kind of shifted out, but new things have shifted in. This does show up on the PET scan. The PET scan shows now there's more progression in the two temporal lobes and something like the cerebellar for me, but my frontal lobe does not show any more progression. So they're considering it a temporal variant of frontal temporal dementia at this stage. You just keep getting a bunch of letters. Everybody that has dementia ends up at the same place in the end, eventually. But meanwhile, the brain is huge, and it's not just memory problems, it is everything problems. It's brain damage. It's it's not just you seem fine to me. It's like people say that to me all the time. And my girlfriend Paula at the meeting today, she's a speaker for the Alzheimer's Association as well, and a lot of other affiliates going to the Senate and that kind of thing to create awareness. And she said that she thinks the most abusive thing that someone could say to someone when they are honestly divulging their diagnosis or their situation is, well, you seem fine to me. And personally, I feel like when you're talking to someone with frontal temporal dementia or Alzheimer's, when I'm trying to say something and you come in and you answer it for me, you are 9 times out of 10 on a different thread than I was going on. And then once you mention the thread, I really can't remember what I'm saying. So I think the most important kind tool in this conversation is when we're struggling and when we're grasping, give us some time to sort it out. There are confrontational questions that you can ask that make me really realize that I'm screwed up in my cognition. You can say something like, oh, well, what year did that happen? And if I can't remember, that's confrontational. So you could just say, has that happened before? Or I had that happen to me? Or repeat back to me what I just said. And then it's a safe conversation. And then I can stop and listen to you once I get it out of my head. But as long as there's something in my head, I can't even really take in what you're saying until I get that out of my head, or else it'll go away and I won't be able to talk in conversation at all. So I hope that helps. Thanks.